Alright, so real quick before we get into the video, I'm going to do a small 30-second setup tour for my guy CBOB. He commented on a video a while back. So first thing here is my guitar. I use it rarely, but it's nice eye candy. Then we got my piano, which plugs into my PC. I use it all the time for samples and drum manipulation. It's definitely the highlight of my setup. Then I've got these vinyl records. One is on my shelf and 3 others I have on my desk next to my beer sign. And then I've also got my PS5 controller to the left of that. And lastly, I have my panels up on my desk and also my monitors, chair, and mic. And that's about it. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so this is melody number 1. I'm going to go ahead and play the full thing. Alright, first sound I used was from Analog Lab. If you're making a virtual beat, I highly recommend using this plugin. And the reason I like using plugins like this is because I don't have to search through one-shot kits to find good bell and mallet sounds. One thing that's extremely important to note here is this variation in the second half of the loop. If you notice, this 4-step note going up right here is not in the first part. You don't want the listener to get bored. When I say listener, I'm referring to producers using your loops. They don't want to hear the same shit they've heard a million times. So switching it up in the second half is a great way to add variation to your loops. So yeah, let's stop talking and solo this pattern right here. Without effects, sounds a lot different. So this first one I got Portal, very versatile plugin. The preset I'm using here is called Arp-O-Matic. I turned the mix down to like 40%. Then I have reverb because mallet sounds tend to be like unnecessarily dry. Taking out the bass with this EQ here. Shaper Box 2, I use this plugin a lot if you watch my videos. And I've got 2 instances of Supermassive from Valhalla. The skinny 8th preset is great because it creates more bounce in the loops by moving it forward. And I've also got Loop Raider to do this kind of reverse at the end. The majority of the rest of these sounds, excluding the bass, are all pretty much just accents. So I'm going to play them all at once, and then I will break down the effects that I have on them. Alright, so real quick, this is the mallet right here. Same exact effects as the first one. There's an easy way to copy mixer channels from one to another. All you gotta do is right click, hit file, save mixer track state as. You can drag it to any track you want. Let's say I want it on 11. Now every single effect from here will be copied over. Alright, now the most important part of this loop, in my opinion, is the bass. I have it contrasting the entire melody, but still staying in key, and it sounds fire because of that. Here's the vocal chop that I came up with soloed. Alright, I'm going to play the beat I made with this loop, and then we'll get to the second loop.
Hey Noble, you got the vibes?
Alright, so we got melody number 2 pulled up here. This one is a lot more complicated, so I'm going to try and run through every sound way faster than last time. But let's play the full sample first. If I solo out the bell, this is what it sounds like. I'm not going to break down all the effects I have on all these sounds because they're very similar to the last melody and the 2 melodies I'm going to do next. What I will say is that this melody is unique because it uses this plugin called PM Cool Vibe. Alright, now I'm going to play these 2 things kind of like bell mallets that I use as accents. The way I'm having this second accent slide is just by going from here to here, hitting porta, and then moving the slide up. I'm gonna play the next couple sounds at the same time because I like how they work together. So what I have this doing here is sliding from an A sharp down to a G sharp. These notes are not what the progression is playing, but they are in the same key, so it sounds really good when you put them together. Last thing is the bass, so I'm gonna solo that real quick. When you put all that together and pitch it down 100 cents, this is what you get. Now I'm gonna play the beat I made with this sample, and then we'll move on to the third melody.
Hey Noble, you got the vibes?
Alright, loop number 3. Let's go ahead and solo it. Alright, so first off, we got the main part of any emotional rod wave, little TJ melody, and that's the piano. Unfortunately, this melody is taking up like half my CPU right now, so you may hear some clicking, but that's fine. I'm gonna solo the pattern now. So after making the piano, I knew I wanted to go in the direction of like a rod wave type loop, so I knew I needed a guitar. Next, I got these strings to add a little bit more emotion to the melody, and these horns to complement them. This next part is definitely my favorite. It's this descending mallet sound I have here. Everything from here on out is an accent. And this is why I keep trying to say, make sure that your melodies have layers. Layers are so important to melodies. And this is something that a lot of producers and loop makers, sample makers are overlooking. They're hearing all these producers saying simplicity is key. Yes, simplicity is key, but what is simplicity if what you have doesn't sound good to start with? So to save time, I'm not going to solo each part of the melody that I have left. I'm just going to play all the accents together. Alright, so here's the bass pattern, which is the last part of the melody. Now I'm going to go ahead and play the beat I made with the sample and move on to loop number 4.
Hey Noble, you got the vibes?
Alright, so loop number 4. Out of all the samples that I've played so far, this has to be my favorite. I really just like the cadence of it and how all the sounds work together, so let's go ahead and play it. Alright, so since the first part of this melody is the piano, I'm going to play that first. When you make a piano melody, it doesn't always have to be like some sad, depressing, like rod wave type thing. You can have a piano melody be ambient and still have bounce to it. Unfortunately, the most important part of this melody, the ARP, can't load because if I try and load it, my computer's probably going to crash. All I can really do is just play the audio clip that I rendered out earlier. Because there's so much reverb on the sound, it just ends up sounding so open and full that it really complements the piano perfectly. That's another gem right there. Make sure that when you have multiple sounds, they're not contrasting and working for space, they're working together. Instead of soloing the bass, I'm gonna play it with the piano. Second and last part of this melody is this vox. This is chops that I recorded myself. All you really have to do here is just use autotune and reverb as I've covered before, and then pitch it up an octave. So let's go ahead and solo the vox. Real quick, I'm gonna play these chimes because I just feel like there's such a nice transition between the first part of the loop and the second part of the loop. And here they are in context with everything. That's my last gem of the day. For samples, make sure that you have transitions between different parts of the melodies. Make sure that they don't overpower the melody though. You don't want to be using perk loops or like crashes in your samples. Just keep it simple and make sure it sounds good.
Hey Noble, you got the vibes?
That's going to be about it for me, y'all. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was definitely something out of my comfort zone, but I enjoy doing things like this. Hopefully you learned something from all these melodies I broke down. If you fuck with any of these melodies and you want to use them, just send an email to me or DM me on Instagram and I can send you them. If you want me to drop a sample pack once I hit 500 subscribers, comment down below. If you have any other video ideas for me, do the same. Make sure to subscribe. We're getting so close to 500 and that's definitely a goal for me before summer. Also make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload a video like this one. And also if you like this video, leave a like because it does help my channel out a lot. You can also check out my beats channel. It should be linked in the description, and all my socials will be there as well, including my Instagram. But yeah, that's gonna be about it for me. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see y'all in the next video. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.
Hey Noble, you got the vibes?